Please welcome to the program, Rebecca Kwan.
Hey guys, thanks so much for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on. A few weeks ago, I'd say probably about, yeah, maybe about even 4 weeks ago now, we had Mercedes Morris on and we were talking about SkyMed. And it's at that time that, getting ready to do that interview, I watched the show and I just devoured it. I just binged the whole thing. SkyMed, so much fun, so interesting. Who would think that, saving lives could be so sexy, is the way I see it.
Hey, Julie advertised it as a kissing show, and I hope we didn't disappoint.
Yeah, no, I think Julie was definitely right. She did bring us a kissing show, definitely. Oh my God. Now, of course, you play Emma, one of the
Mhm.
nurses who's scheduled up at North House, right?
Yeah, she's kind of in her own little portable, isolated by herself in North House, and she kind of just takes in all like the ER cases that don't make it to Winnipeg Memorial or anything like that.
Yeah, she's like one of the few main characters that didn't debut in the first episode. She kind of pops up in the second episode there. And I gotta say, when it comes to meet cutes, Emma and Chopper have the most like most unique meet cute ever. Because usually it's always like people just bump into each other or they meet at a coffee shop or something like that. But you guys, it's CB radios that you guys connect.
We kicked it old school, like real old school with the CB radios. The first time I think I read the script for it, I was like, "Oh my God." I can't even imagine, like, we live in such an age right now where everything's FaceTime, everyone knows what the other person looks like just by like a simple social media search.
Yeah.
But because there's no internet up north, and as Chopper said, CB radios are the internet of the north, I just thought it was adorable how they met too. I this You said it perfectly. It's the perfect meet cute.
So this means, of course, now that you're going to, try all dating through CB radios, of course, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
like the least shallow. It's the way to really get to know someone. Like it's awesome. I love Emma and Chopper's story. It's so cute.
Note to self: get CB radio.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how you get the girls. That's how you get the girls.
Oh my God. So of course we mentioned Chopper, and of course Chopper is one of the pilots played by Pranita Killa. We've had him on the show before. Great guy. And I know you've been saying a lot in interviews, and others have as well, that the character of Chopper and Pranita Killa are just basically the same person.
Absolutely. So Chopper was written after Jamie, who was Julie's sister's husband. And honestly, when they met on set, it was like just two of the same person just colliding into each other. They're twins. But yeah, Chopper and Praneet are literally the same person. And it was the funniest thing. It almost felt like the universe just threw Chopper at him and was like, "Yep, perfect casting, perfect guy. That's just it."
Oh my God. Now, as we've been talking here, of course, Emma and Chopper are like one of the relationships on the show. That there's two relationships on the show that we kind of follow, and both of them the entire time the audience, I feel, is rooting for both of them because they're two couples that seem perfect together with each other. Now, when I heard that, like, some actors and stuff, when they finish a season, they take something to remember the show by and stuff like that. I heard that you took from set your bra.
Okay, wait. So I want to be very clear. I did not steal or take any props or anything without permission. I was given one of the bras that Emma wore while she was hooking up a Chopper, because they were kind of like, I don't think we really need to keep it. So if you want to have it, you can have it. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I like how you chose the bra too, but not the earrings that I mentioned as well.
Well, yeah, there's the earrings, but
Yeah, like what are the earrings, right?
one is more memorable than the other. Come on now. All right.
It's true. It was the first time that Chopper and Emma hooked up, I guess.
Yeah. Oh my God. We got an email in from David E, who says, "Hey geeks, love your show and love SkyMed. Rebecca has gained a large following from her past career working in the leisure trade. What was that exactly? Just very curious."
I'm sorry, the leisure trade? What's that?
I don't know. He's got it in quotations here. The
what's
leisure train. Yeah.
That seems so suspect. I mean, I did like retail before. I sold women's shoes at Capezio. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's been a while since we've gotten a puzzling question like this. Usually people know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm a bit floored and like I'm a bit confused by this as well, David. If you can add more context, that'd be great. Send us an email.
Yeah.
Anybody wants to send an email, geekhardshow@gmail.com. Ask questions, give comments. Tons of fun.
So, Rebecca, you mentioned that you sold shoes at one point. Did you think while you were selling shoes that you would ever have a chance to be able to like go up north, play a nurse, hook up with Chopper, bring a bra home that, like,
Those are all the dreams of a shoe salesman.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what we daydream about. Truthfully, acting was something I'd always dreamt about doing, very, very honestly, since I was little. But it was kind of one of those things where I was like, what are the chances of that happening? And I kind of just was like rejecting myself before I guess the industry could. And I was only 16 at the time, so I took up like a part-time just random retail job just to pass time and make new friends, meet new people. I liked shoes, so I was like, sure, why not? And I would daydream about acting and doing what I really wanted to do in life. So I mean, to even be here right now is such a dream. And it's an unbelievable experience being one of the #1 shows on Paramount Plus, which like blew my mind. And I'm just so happy and grateful to be here, honestly.
Have you
yeah,
a lot
totally.
of reaction online? Because obviously in this day and age, social media makes it a lot easier for actors and creators to get that kind of instant feedback almost. Have you been getting a lot of interactions from fans of the show?
Yeah, absolutely. It's so great having that direct feedback, like as you said. Like as it's airing on CBC, we'll get tweets about like, oh, like the new episode's airing, and like, oh, like why doesn't Emma just give Chopper a chance? Like it's always just like give Chopper the chance. Like everyone loves Praneet, and Emma's just kind of like, I mean, Emma's lost. Emma's just trying to figure out her stuff right now. So
Well, it's like Emma had this plan in her life, right? And then she realizes now that maybe she doesn't have it all figured out, right?
absolutely, that's exactly it. It was a thing of the writers and directors, they told me it's like straight up, Emma has had every single plan that she's had since she was little come true. That's just how her life has always been. And when she decided to take a job up north in Manitoba, she realizes she wants none of that. And I think she's in a bit of denial about it. And it's just this huge character arc of her figuring out what she actually wants and what actually serves her and what doesn't.
Yeah, no, she has quite a journey and quite an arc. Like it's great to get, I'm guessing for you, it's great to get such a, meaty type role like that, where you get to go through this kind of journey with the character.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think viewers can relate to that so much of just not understanding what your life is after every solid plan, after every decision you've made, and it leading up to this moment, it kind of blowing up in your face almost. And then just exploring all the different things that your life could be.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
No, totally. I understand. I understand what you're going through. Like I started a radio show and podcast, and I booked this host, and I thought he was the perfect co-host for me. But every day I sit there going, I don't know, maybe there's something better out there for me.
You are a terrible human being. You're a terrible human being. I do it for the guests. The guests are what keep attracting me here. That's what that keeps me around, right?
That's what keeps like it fresh Rebecca. For us.
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm glad you're still here.
Yeah.
I'm glad you haven't left yet.
That's how we keep it fresh here. Definitely. Oh my God. It's now, of course, another project that you were working on just before the pandemic. You got that all finished up, and it came out during the pandemic. Is Cascadia, the podcast series. Now, for people who haven't had a chance to listen to it out there, it's available on Spotify. What's Cascadia all about?
Oh man, Cascadia was so much fun. So pretty much Cascadia is a 3D audio story. It was written by Adam Curcio. He's one of my closest friends. He did this over the pandemic, and it's just about an underwater sea adventure with these deep divers who discover aliens, monsters, anything you could think of. And I don't want to spoil it too much, but
Right.
there's a twist at the end on like who survives and who unfortunately kind of hits their demise. But it's awesome because there's this huge 3D sound system that viewers really feel embraced by the whole situation. And you could hear bubbles, you could hear the submarine sounds, you really feel immersed in the whole thing.
Yeah, no, when I listened to the first episode, I was amazed at the soundscape. It was like, there's a lot there to it. It was there. I could feel the depth of it totally. And also, Alias Steele, I feel bad for her and the other crew members. They were kind of sent up shit creek, you know, given a captain that's like he's basically going rogue, going out for himself there, saying, we're going to do this and kind of fuck the rest of the crew over. Like,
Oh my God.
Alia seems very like, oh shit. Because at first, Alia's like, hey, they made Declan the Kaplan for a reason. I'm sure everything's good. And then when Declan turns to her and goes, we're going to do this. She's like, oh shit. Okay.
Oh my gosh, Declan's such a liability. Like,
yeah.
throughout the whole time when we were recording it, we were like, dude, nobody's gonna like really like Declan. He just leads us to our death. And like, I love Adam who plays Declan as well, but we were like, oh my God, like get it together, man. Get it together. Like, what's happening?
So it was very easy to find the motivation through the work on how to react to that. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Because, you know, she defends him. She's like, you know what? No, he knows what he's doing. He knows it's fine. He's our captain. Like, how else? You know, we have to support him. And then one thing leads to another, and we're almost dead. You know, like it was crazy, but it was so much fun recording Cascadia.
Now, did you guys record remotely, or did you guys record together?
So we all got tested before, and I don't know, it was just more of like a dynamic thing where we all felt that reading from a social distance place, we would just connect more, and it would just read through more in the audio. And it really did, because I think we did some tests where we recorded separately, and it just didn't sound like conversational at all. So yeah, we ended up recording in the studio in Vancouver.
Yeah, that's awesome. You guys had to actually do it like a radio play, which is I always feel is the best way to do those projects. Definitely.
I agree. It was funny because we were like, are we gonna get COVID doing the project? But everyone was super safe, and it was fine. Thank God.
No, thank God. That's great. No, definitely. Oh my God. Now, of course, you also, you know, you're an actor, but you are branching out into other parts of production. I know that you've written a feature film script that you are now in pre-production on producing. Are you also directing it as well?
So taking on so many hats on a particular project is so difficult. At the moment, I'm still, yeah, like you said, in pre-production writing and just trying to get funding and trying to figure out exactly how I want it, because it's such a special story, and it's something that I've always had in my mind for years to kind of come out. But I would like to direct, but I know how difficult all these responsibilities are at one time, especially for my first project. So that's TBH. That's TBH or TBD.
TBD, yes.
Yeah, TBD.
But it could. You're also being honest, so TBH works as well.
Exactly. I'm just keeping it real with you guys.
Yeah, you're just keeping it real. Exactly. Now, I know you don't have a working title yet or anything, but the film is based on your grandmother's life, right?
Yes, my grandmother. It's based on a lot of her time in China when she was growing up. And I'll give you guys a bit of a peek, but one of the first scenes is about her and her cousin facing off a Japanese soldier. So
wow.
it gets really exciting. It's a period piece in the sense where we do have flashbacks of her childhood and stuff like that, but ultimately the entire screenplay is about grief. But that's all I could say for now.
Oh,
hey. That's
Totally
a good
understand.
tease.
It is.
That's how you do it, right there. Oh my
Nice.
God.
Is it was like growing up with did you get to grow up with your grandmother? Like, to hear these stories? Is that how this like kind of percolated in your mind, or was it like stories that just passed down through the family?
Honestly, it's a bit of both. So my parents never taught me Cantonese. They tried when I was one, then just kind of gave up. And then they're like, okay, she's just gonna be English speaking. It's fine. So whenever my grandma would tell me these stories, I would try to understand what she's saying, but she would say it in like Chinglish. She'd be like, so part Chinese, part English, and I would get my mom to kind of translate. But hearing these stories, like as you said, growing up, I was like, oh my gosh, I've never met someone more fascinating and who's been through droughts, wars, people bombing her home country, like in one lifetime. She's truly one of the most extraordinary people I've ever met in my entire life. Um, she taught me how to avoid an atomic bomb, which is like a protocol for them in school or something. And it was all these amazing stories that she told me that I like sat down one day and I realized I was like, this is incredible. You're an incredible woman and you've been through so much. And she's just kind of shrugging it off. And she's like, yeah, I mean, that was just life. And not to brag about her more, but you could obviously tell how much I admire her as a person. But she's also, I think she's 100. She's 100 and she still wears high heels. She still ballroom dances.
Oh my
She does
God.
calligraphy. She also kicks
Wow.
ass in bingo at her old folks' home. And people think she's cheating, but she's just the most extraordinarily lucky woman I've ever met in my life. She's also owned like a nightclub and survived a shooting, and like her life's just insane. So, yeah, hearing these stories, I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. I have to do something with this.
Definitely,
Wow.
man. She's lived a really full life. Yeah.
Yeah, and just you describing some of those, whether or not all of that makes it into your script or not, you got me really, excited and intrigued to check it out, because that's a lot going on there. And like, I think you're right. I think luck has a lot, like luck is like a theme in her life, because like what you
Yeah.
just like surviving some of those things is incredibly difficult for most people.
Mhm.
Exactly. I mean, I look at her and I always marvel at just even her just sitting there, just her existence at all, because honestly, all the odds were against her at every chance she got, and somehow she's here. She's actually upstairs. We're having a family barbecue, but
Oh,
she's just here right now too.
that's great.
Yeah.
Close by. We're talking about her. It was all good things though, so it's
Yeah,
okay.
Oh, totally. Yeah. No, she's super flattered. Like when I was interviewing her, just for the script and stuff, she was like, "Oh, there's gonna be a film about me," and I was like, yeah, eventually. I mean, this whole thing's like a marathon, not a sprint. But yeah, eventually. And she was like, well, you better get on it before I kick the can. And I was like, oh my God, grandma, why? Like, don't say that. She's like, no, but I'm really flattered that you chose me. And I was like, yeah, of course. Like, you're just the most incredible human.
Yeah, I'd
that's
say so.
awesome.
She sounds pretty damn incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically, knowing her luck, she'll stick around long after the movie is made. So she'll get to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. She'll probably outlast me, honestly.
Well, that's the thing. Back then they were built to last. Now we're not as we were supposed to last longer, but it just seems like they use a lot of like cheaper packaging for us these days. My God.
I'm falling apart as we speak right now. That's
Yeah, but that was a foregone conclusion. But anyways, we got an email in from Bart C who says, "Yo geeks, Rebecca is so talented," and I'll save the rest of the email till our She-Hulk segment because they go on to give a review of that. But yeah, so you got a fan with Bart there.
Aw, thanks, Bart. You're so sweet.
Yeah, and that one made sense.
Yeah, I mean, like, shout out to Gary. Like, thank you. That was really sweet. But I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Yeah, don't know what you're talking about, David. We don't know what you're talking about, but Bart totally makes sense. Oh man, well, Rebecca, I want to thank you for coming on the program tonight. It's been a lot of fun talking with you. Once again, love SkyMed and really hope that it gets picked up for a second season. I already know that the plan is in place. You know, people are writing, like the writer's room is in action. I'm hoping you guys get picked up because I want to see what happens, especially I want to see what happens with Emma after she comes back, and
I
see what
know.
life lessons she's learned.
I know she's eat, praying, and loving, spoiler alert, in in Fiji right now. So I mean, I'm really hopeful for season 2, and I'm so excited. I'm so glad that everyone and you guys enjoyed it as well. Like, thank you so much for having me on.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. And of course, SkyMed can be seen on CBC Gem and Paramount Plus and is airing on Sunday nights on CBC. So check it out. Rebecca, thank you so much for coming on. Have yourself a great night.
You too. Take care, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Bye.